Let's be honest here. We're all waiting for ASA and the launch. It's just around the corner, set to hit every single of us by the end of October. With everyone starting fresh on the server, there's a lot of hype and excitement going around. But knowing how a fresh start can be, it also will be hella chaotic. Today I'm delving into the 7 things that I will do as soon as ARK Survival Ascended launches. Number 1. Secure a good base spot. Now, the first thing on my list is securing a good base spot. On the island, I made the experience in ARK Survival Evolved that the lifetime of a base there can last a few years. On our cluster, for example, some bases have been built on the day of the ARK launch, which was 8 years ago, and they still exist. So if I want to have a slice of that popular first map real estate, I need to be very quick online and put a pillar or a sign where my base is going to be. Luckily, I've got a few spots in mind that are large enough to exactly fit my needs to build my new ARK breeder empire. I'm kinda happy though that I don't play on official servers right now, because the hostility on there to get the best spots will probably peak on release day. I will, if anything goes well, play on the Norwegian Vikings cluster and settle there for the foreseeable future. Point number 2, build a base. Next up, we have building a base. Now, I'll be honest, building in ARK isn't my favorite activity. Quite the opposite actually. But I've got the perfect strategy to tackle this beast right away. I'll be building my base as the first thing as soon as I have the spot. And why the rush, you may ask? Well, it's simple. I want to get over with it as soon as possible. If you remember my Valguero base in my base tour that I showed you a few days ago, that base was built in the first few days after I joined the server. Just me, a handful of RGs, a Doet and an Enki, that's all it needed. And yeah, a lot of curse words. I really don't like building, so to get done with it I need a carrier, the Doet, the Enki and maybe a Theresino together somewhat. We will see what I can get my hands on early. Point number 3. Taming boss creatures. Now, considering that we're playing without mods in the beginning, I'm aiming to start early with boss creature breeding, because we've got just 2 months until Scorched Earth drops. My plans include getting some Megatheriums, Rexes or Carnos, and of course Megalosaurus for some good measure, because I want to try out the Megalosaurus with a dragon, just to see if they change the dragon or if they change the Megalosaurus, because we know there is like some thing going on with these. I don't know yet how the breeding mechanic in ASA looks. They announced some quality of life changes, so maybe I won't need 400 females to push my breeding lines, but I want to be prepared to have decent progress, so I can be done with the bosses in December. And I know it's quite a tight plan for myself, but I didn't get 13,000 hours in ARK Survival Evolved for nothing. Well, okay, there was some idling during breeding dinos and a lot of Netflix watching included, but we don't need to talk about this right now, right? The next point is building up a tribe. And while I'm hoping that my friends will jump on board and join my ASA shenanigans, I'm also fine if they don't find the time. Over the past years, I've become quite an efficient solo player. And in PvE, it still doesn't matter too much if you're in a tribe or if you're not. Plus, I can always rely on Twitch streams when I have to do the annoying and boring things. With the Twitch chat as my remote tribe, I'm never alone. I was asked why I don't make a viewer tribe, and while I would really love to do that, I have made very bad experience in the past. And now, especially when my content is relying on the progress that I make in the game, I don't want anyone to have the ability to mess with it and maybe destroying the foundation of my content. I'm of course not saying you would do this, but there are unfortunately not so nice people around that are very good at pretending to be nice in the beginning and then just mess with you. So I'm sorry for that bummer, but since you all have asked, I felt it's better to explain it here than to just explain it over and over again when the question comes up. And to the next point, number 5, I'll be doing a ton of theory crafting. The early weeks of ASA are bound to be filled with it, and I can't wait to nerd around and figure out what has changed. Test out our tutorials and see which ones still work and which ones need an update. The new mechanics and abilities get me super excited, because theory crafting is actually the reason why I started making videos to begin with. So having a reason to fresh start into it is super exciting for me. And if you want, we can do some theory crafting as well online, so if you're interested in that, let me know. Point number 6, exploring. And even though I have played thousands and thousands of hours on the island before, I want to go exploring because it's fresh, and it's Unreal Engine 5. It's a little bit like playing Minecraft for years and then you suddenly installed shaders for the first time. And suddenly, everything you're looking at is just a wow moment, and this is exactly how I expect ASA is going to feel with ARK. I always said when new releases happen, I am first and foremost a player, like everyone else. I love the game, I love playing the game, and I enjoy having my friends around me. Exploring and making memories with friends will be a big thing for me on the ASA launch. Will it be chaotic? I hope so. It wouldn't be an ARK launch if there was not a little bit of chaos going on. And now to the last point, number 7, and that is a point that is important for me, but also for you, and that is making content. Because don't worry, I'll be putting out some content for you as well. I already have a long list with video ideas for when ASA is finally here. So there won't be a shortage of content. I first want to get a good overview over the state of the game when it gets released, and I think a few days in we can then talk about my first impression, because I think this is what many of you are actually looking for, because if you're undecided, you want to know what I think about it. We will try to have a launch stream as well, of course. The thing with ARK launches though is that usually all previously made plans blow up last minute and we have to improvise. It has been like this with every single launch, and it will be 100% the same this time. But if you want to watch the streams and you want to follow my ARK journey over at Twitch, you can follow me on my profile over on this URL. And this is where the magic will happen. And you will also find the URL in the video description, so you can directly click it. Also, a little correction, we will not get the Q&A today, like I announced in my video 2 days ago. When they announced after the last community crunch that they're going to collect questions to answer them, my mind already thought, yes, that's been done for the next community crunch. Oh, and I was wrong. I assumed wrong. So the community crunch Q&A question and answer round with the devs will happen in October. I don't know when. I hope it's before the ASA release. I hope it's before the ASA release, but I think that is something we can say for sure. But don't go after wildcard for this one, because I messed that up. My mistake. You can like put a big shame in the comments just for me. So don't worry, there will be no video about question and answers because we will not get answers. Those are my top 7 priority activities for when ASA drops. And now it's your turn. What's on your ASA to-do list? Did I forget something crucial? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're at the point right now where you're like, what the hell is ASA? Explain it to me. There are 2 videos here right now that will do the exact thing. That will explain to you what is ASA and what you can look forward to at the end of October. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.